you know that we are the American Indians. Copper color Indians, baby. A real Indian, American Indian is me, not from Africa. Remember that.
African Americans here, but they recently moved here from places like Kenya, Ethiopia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Zaire. But now the brother whose family's lived in this country for generations, occupying space in all the locations, New York, Miami, LA, Detroit, Chicago, even if he's wearing a dashiki and sporting an afro. And if you go to Africa in search of your race, you'll find out quick, you're not an African American. You're just a black American in Africa taking up space. Why you keep trying to attach yourself to a continent where even if you got the chance to go and you went, most people that wouldn't even claim you as one of them, as a pure.
And we are not Africans. We are not African. Are you an African, baby? I'm not.
Hey, hey, y'all. So, I don't even need these on while the music's playing. Is that music low enough for me to give my lesson or good? Mic check. Mic check. Do I sound okay? Adam Jew, Girly, Youngka, how you doing, sweetheart? Youngka. Adam Jew, hey now. Girly. Hey, Anthony Lowe. D. Allen Warren, how you doing, darling? All right. Hey, Rodney, baby. Hey, Doc Boss, how you doing, hun? Ali Baba Huru. Hey now. And everybody watching. Don't be shy now. Some of y'all is just too shy. Whoa. See, when you mess with Twitter, my Twitter, I knew this would be. Hey, Twitter, y'all. Hey, y'all, smash the like button. Okay? Not just in Twitter, in here too. That'll be helpful. All right? I'm keeping it clean, y'all. I'm keeping it clean. But it's going to be some funky stuff. I got some slides I want to go through. And I have some information from the federal government that I want to share with you. Because a lot of us, we say, oh, I heard this or I heard that. But the truth is, before we make these grand assumptions, we really need to check the sources, who's being blamed for such. And that's a fact. But today, we're going through the scammers. We're going to go through the fraud. This fraud that's being taught in private Zoom meetings by many people claiming to be these heroes to promising people some kind of American dream that everybody in the damn world want. With these birth certificates being traded on the stock market, Social Security number, EIN number, trust, and Treasury scams. It's all scams. And I'm going to go through this again. I done went through this multiple times. But you have to learn. Then I'm going to get into immigrants/emigrants, two different types. Immigrants, and immigrants versus us. I know you think it means U.S., but no, us, literally us, because there's a lot of information you need to know, and you need to look at things from another perspective. You can't always view things from a tunnel vision standpoint. Tunnel vision is when you're just looking just like this, right through a tunnel and nowhere else. And a lot of things need to be fixed. Oftentimes, we're fed information from a lot of bitter people. We are a lot of fed up and bitter people. But you got to get to the truth and the facts of things before you stand on an assumption. And that's some real shit. So I'm going to go through the slides first. There's enough people in here to get it started, so I'm not going to wait any longer. I believe I got to get this over here in order to do the share screen. Where am I? There I am. All right, here we go, you guys. And what I'll do, I'll speak for an hour. It might take an hour, maybe it might be less. In the last hour or so, we'll have dialogue, like I always do. But we need to go through this because you need to understand it. And that's a fact. So let's get to it. All right. And I'm going to go from the beginning. I cannot stand this. So, oh God, I can't stand this. This is what I want. All right. So, but now I can't see you. Oh, yes, I can. I can see you from right here. Hey, Daphne, how are you? DeAndre Turner. Welcome everybody to the chat room. Yunka 725. I like that name, Yunka. Daphne, American Isness. Hey now. Anthony Lowe. If I didn't say hi. So I'm gonna get right into it, y'all, because this is important. So the birth certificate, Social Security, EIN number, and bond scams and Treasury trust. Watch out for these scammers who are promising you a future in prison for fraud. It should have changed, which it did not. All right, let's see. There we go. You are being deceived to engage in fraud. All right. Several YouTube content creators are making false claims and holding private Zoom meetings, lecturing to you that your United States birth certificate is a negotiable instrument, a document that promises payment that can be used to make purchases that will be charged to an exemption account, perhaps identified by your Social Security number or EIN number, or request savings bonds held by the government in your name and owed to you. You're welcome, Younger. The truth is, birth certificates cannot be used for purchases, nor can they be used to request savings bonds purportedly held by the government. Also, the exemption account is a false term. These accounts are fictitious and do not exist in the Treasury Department. The common tale offered in this scam states when the United States went off the gold standard in 1933, the federal government somehow went bankrupt. With the help of the Federal Reserve Bank, the government became a corporation, sometimes called government franchise, and converted the bodies of its citizens into capital value, supposedly by trading the birth certificates of United States citizens on the open market and making each citizen a corporate asset, sometimes referred to as a straw man, whose value is controlled by the government. Listen, y'all, smash that like button. Scams varying in methods for citizens to gain control of their alleged assets, such as filing a UCC-1 financial statement, activating a Treasury direct account, TDA, or creating bonds by using the savings bond calculator. These scammers promise that your birth certificate bond will be able to wipe out all your debt or help you collect monies, securities. Many scammers even offer to bring you in private Zoom meetings and offer coaching on how to do this. No one has profited from the Treasury Department by using these tactics, but these scammers intend to profit from this story by selling their bogus scams. I'm going to read this again because it's very important for you to hear this and understand this. The scammers promise that your birth certificate bond will be able to wipe out all your debt or help you collect monies / securities. Many scammers even offer to bring you into private Zoom meetings and offer coaching on how to do this. No one has profited from the Treasury Department by using these tactics, but scammers intend to profit from this story by selling their bogus scam. Their bogus scam is to get you in the room, fill your brain with this, get you excited. Their only reason is to get whatever they're charging you to do this, from $100 to $1,000. The scam is to get that. They're successful when they get that deposit from you. That's the only winner in this game. Again, the scammers' intent to profit from this story by selling their bogus scams. And that is the bogus scam. Now back to reality. There is no monetary value to a birth certificate or a social security number, EIN, and Treasury direct accounts must be funded by the owner through payroll deductions or from purchasing directly from the owner's personal bank account to have any value. Now, what this means is if you have a company and you have employees and whatever social security monies need to come out their account, it gets taken out their account and it's deposited to the Treasury direct accounts. Because when they retire, this is the money they'll be entitled to. They're called deductions, payroll deductions, directly from the owner's personal bank account, whether it's a small employer that you're working for or a large corporation. It comes from those accounts to and goes, it comes out of your check into their bank account that's set up for taking Social Security money out of your pay and forwarded to the Treasury direct accounts. That's all that is. The savings bond calculator is merely a tool to calculate the value of a bond based on an issue date and denomination entered. This information could be the issue date and denomination from a real bond, or it could just be a random choice of a date and denomination. The calculator only checks that the combination, that the issue date and the denomination date entered are a valid combination. It will not verify whether a bond exists. The calculator will not verify the validity of a serial number or confirm bond ownership. So they tell you about the little serial number on the back of your Social Security card and all this bullshit. Stop listening to them. Please be advised that trying to defraud the government by claiming rights to bogus securities is a violation of federal law, and the Justice Department can and has prosecuted these crimes. Federal criminal convictions have occurred in several cases. The scam artists who are lecturing in private Zoom meetings are trying to defraud you into buying their scams. Do not fall victim to these schemes. There has been a proliferation of bogus site drafts and bills of exchange drawn on the United States Treasury Department. These documents have appeared in many states and have been used to pay for everything from cars to child support. And here's what this is a fraudulent item, site draft. This is how some of it looks. It's bogus. Take a good look at it. And if you want any of my slides, you need to send me an email. You do. So I can send it back to you in PDF form. You can look all this information up. That's my email. And also donate to our nation. Because I'm coming to give you legitimate information. Donate to our nation. Go on our site. This is what we do. Protect you. Hey, big dog. All right. A stripped down version of, bogus site drafts, bill of exchange drawn on the Treasury. A stripped down version of this scheme is as follows. I'm going to read this again. When the United States went off the gold standard in 1933, the federal government somehow went bankrupt. With the help of the Federal Reserve Bank, the government converted the bodies of its citizens into capital value, supposedly by trading birth certificates of U.S. citizens on the open market. After following a complicated process of filing UCC documents with either the Secretary of State of the person's residence or another state that will accept the filings, each citizen is entitled to redeem his or her value by filling out a site draft drawn on their non-existent Treasury direct account. The scheme asserts that each citizen's Social Security number is also his or her account number. As a part of the scheme, participants also file false IRS forms 8300 and currency transaction reports in the name of law enforcement officials and other individuals they seek to harass. And you're going to be hearing these, and this is how you know this is fraudulent and that the government is fully aware of these games. Drawing such drafts on the United States Treasury is fraudulent and a violation of federal law. The theory behind their use is bogus and incomprehensible. The Justice Department is vigorously prosecuting these crimes. Federal criminal convictions have occurred in several cases. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency has tried to alert the banking community to this fraud. With early and vigorous prosecution by the Justice Department on bogus site drafts cases, we have begun to see bills of exchange taking their place. This chance occurred on or around 2001. All these bills of exchange drawn on the U.S. Treasury are worthless. All the same issues and background materials applicable to site drafts also apply to bills of exchange. This is the same fraud under another name. Report these scammers because people are being harmed. Our people who are vulnerable, our women, our men who are facing hopelessness and financial hardship. They think this works, and we have to help them so that they're not deceived. Report these scammers. For inquiries by anyone adversely affected by this fraud, please contact the Treasury Office of Inspector General, the Department of the Treasury, 1500 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C. That's their phone number. And if you're deaf, hard of hearing, there's the information as well. Now, let's stop here for 1 second. I'm not telling you this to create anger in you. But if you're teaching this because someone told you it's legit, it's not. It's very much and clearly made aware to the federal government. And you need to refrain from these type of people. They are harming you. And in another instance, you can have a criminal or federal crime record for doing such, especially when it comes to the harassing of officials in these agencies. This is something you don't want to do. And me knowing this, I need to tell you this. So if anything happens to you, or you go in these Zoom meetings and you hear something similar, a process being lectured on, something similar to this, because they all have crafty ways of throwing this at you. But these are the red flags. The main red flag is, I don't care what you do, you're not tapping into no trust. I don't care how they slice it. It's not happening. But you sending this information thinking you're going to get this fictitious name and get all this shit from a trust, let me tell you what you're doing. Your name is being documented on a database so they can save it to see who your ass is. Federal governments and state governments track shit. Everything that comes into them is open to the public. And you need to stop it. Right now, I'm telling you. It's very difficult to get this message across to a lot of generations that come after me. But I'm saying this because there's so many of them that are very wise and have a sharp eye. All right? So now, I want you also to learn what the federal taxes are for. Okay? Because this is important. I think this is it. Is this it? Yes. So, what federal taxes are used for? Federal income taxes, and I know this is like grammar school for some of you, but a lot of our people who have not indulged in having employment and jobs, they really don't know this, and I want them to know. Federal income taxes are used to provide for national programs such as national defense, veterans, and foreign affairs, social programs, physical, human, and community development, law enforcement, and interest on the national debt. The federal taxes you pay are used by the government to invest in the country and to provide goods and services for the benefit of the American people. The three biggest categories of expenditures are major health programs, such as Medicare and Medicaid and Social Security. The payroll taxes taken from your paycheck include Social Security and Medicare taxes, also called FICA, Federal Insurance Contributions Act taxes. The Social Security tax provides retirement and disability benefits for employees and their dependents. Now, let's take an example. I put this out so you can see. Federal payroll tax deductions. All right. The federal government determines the percentages employees will pay for payroll taxes. The payroll taxes taken from your paycheck include Social Security and Medicare taxes, also called FICA, Federal Insurance Contributions Act. The Social Security tax provides retirement and disability benefits for employees and their dependents. The Medicare tax provides medical benefits to people age 65 or older, certain younger people with disabilities, and people with permanent kidney failure requiring dialysis or a transplant. Employers pay part of these payroll taxes. So if you're looking for an example, over here on the first, down here on the bottom, as an example, let's say payroll taxes are as follows. For Social Security, the percentage they take out is 6.20%. Then going down, Medicare tax rate, 1.5%. All this is percent of whatever you get paid. And together, it's $76. And I mean $7.65. It's 7.65% in total. Now, they're going to give you an example. I want to make sure I explain that to you right. For Social Security tax rate, 6.20%. For Medicare tax rate, it's 1.5%. And then when you add it up on the bottom, the total, it says 7.65% in total will come out of your paycheck. So if an employee earns $1,000 in their paycheck, the payroll taxes are Social Security. They're taking out $62. For Medicare, they're taking out $14.50. So in total, in payroll for federal taxes, it's $76.50. Now, I don't know about you or anybody else, but if this portion of money is being taken out of my paycheck so that when I get old and retire, or if I become disabled, I'm allowed these privileges when I retire for the rest of my life. Me personally, I would never save $76.50 every pay period. I won't. I will not. So therefore, it's best they take it out my check and hold that shit till I retire. That amount does not bother me. We get people to claim, I'm Indian nut tax. Okay. I get it. I get that. And you don't want to be taxed. I get it. But I'm not going to miss $76 every pay period. I'm just not. I want that shit saved because it's money I can't touch until I retire. And then at the end of, the year, and then I tax you, file your tax, and you reclaim it back. Look, I don't got time for the funky monkey stuff. But I'm not going to holler and walk up to the government and say, I'm Indian nut tax. You taking $65 out my $76 out my damn paycheck. I'm not doing it. It's not worth it for me. Hell no. When you probably guaranteed like $2,000 every month for the rest of your life when you retire at 60. Hell out of here. Later. State, and now we're at the state. What are state taxes? What state taxes are used for? State and local spending keeps communities running, whether through funding to repair local public schools and pay teachers, run police departments, provide housing subsidies to low-income families, help seniors pay utility bills, or operate other programs. And those other programs are a very long list. Long list. All the social programs in your state. You know what they are. Fund for this, girls group home, all these different programs. States help educate the nation's children, build and repair its roads and bridges, provide health coverage to low-income families and their children. Not all of us are in a position to have health care coverage and pay for it for our children. Some of our parents are in prison. So these state taxes are being used to care for our children and much more. Many of these services are essential to building strong, healthy communities and the nation's long-term economic vitality. Now, am I saying, hey, don't work, get on welfare? No, I'm not. Because some low income families that even though they work, they need this boost to help them. They need supplemental help. So that's what that's there for. Right? In Connecticut has a graduated individual income tax, with rates ranging from 3% to 6.99%. Connecticut also has a 7.50% corporate income tax rate. So at the corporate level, they're paying 7.50%, but they're making billions and millions. Connecticut has a 6.35% state sales tax rate and levies no local sales taxes. So in Connecticut, our taxes are 6.35%. That's how much you're paying on whatever you buy. Okay. Now we're going to get into the immigrants story of, all these fake stories about immigrants getting these special benefits that nobody seems to put in front of your face. A lot of people be lying about shit. Or they just say, "Oh, I ain't say it was true, but I heard." Okay, let's look at the real shit then. Why immigrants excel and we fail. Immigrants flee to our country for a new life. They come here to take advantage of the opportunities offered by the United States of America in an effort to take care of their families, jobs, businesses, shelter, food, education, etc. All refugees arriving in the United States are entitled to 8 months of refugee cash assistance, RCA, from the date of their U.S. arrival. The RCA amount vary based on the size of the family. So for a single person, they get $230 a month from the government. $230 a month. A lot of us Americans that get state benefits get way more than that a month. For a family of two, they get $363 a month. Boy, that's really going to take care of an immigrant family. And family of three gets $485 a month. I know people that get food stamps in the thousands. And family of four gets $611 a month. And that's only for 8 damn months, because most immigrants, they're assigned these social workers. And if they have a trade, they help them get jobs. And they give them the jobs that you won't do. No, it's not the only place. The state, they do come from nonprofits, but the funds come from the federal governments for the nonprofits to oversee. That is correct. But it's still federal money. The nonprofits issue these funds based on those federal figures because they don't have the staff in the federal government to do this. So they outsource to the nonprofits like Catholic Family Charities to disperse these funds for these needy families. Let's keep going. When immigrants arrive in our country, many of them do not choose. Okay, I gotta fix something. Oh, forget it. When immigrants arrive in our country, many of them do not choose to indulge in the already ongoing drug crime in our communities. Not all of them, they do not, literally. If they already have apprentice trade skills, they find out what state requirements are for their skills as far as getting licensed to practice business in our country/states. They establish sole proprietorships, limited liability companies, S corps, C corps, nonprofit organizations. They also elect to work for businesses already established, like all other people in this country do. Now, our focus needs to be on our own shit, our own communities. This is the same type structure building. In the city of Hartford, That's a building with a store underneath it. And Glastonbury, Connecticut, which is a suburb from Hartford, 5 minutes away. Same structure type. Why do ours always have to look like this in our communities? This is the work I'm talking about we need to do. That building shouldn't look like that. People live upstairs. Look at the building on the right. People live upstairs underneath that. And those are bad as hell. We need to fix our communities. This graffiti makes no sense. Same structures, different location. Lack of community support. If I was the owner of that building, I'd be so outraged. This is why there is no love in our communities across the 50 states. This is exactly why. These are 5 different religious affiliations. 5 different ones. A couple of them were outbirth from another. This is the great divide. No love in the hoods and no love from the religious affiliations. They downgrade each other for their types of religious beliefs. We'll get to my little laugh. I say when we get politicians in office, and even if they're white, Chinese, Mexican, Puerto Rican, we need to start protecting our politicians. They're being threatened. They're being threatened by the 1%. So we, as billions and millions and millions and millions of people, no matter what color our politician is, if that politician says, you know, I want to put this bill on the table, but they're threatening my life, guess what? Oh, the 1% is threatening your life? The 1% is threatening your life. All right. We're the motherfucking 99%. We know where they live. We're going to protect our politicians, no matter what their race. If they represent and they want to live, put out policies that helps all of us. If they decide they want to go out, oh, we got to protect them. Day and night. They send out threats, we send them back. I will drop the link when I'm done. In a minute. Now, I want to share what else. There was something else I wanted to share. I wanted to make sure I still got it. And if you don't have any proof from any government officials, please don't, rhetoric, don't help me. Seriously. We look very stupid when we talk about something and stand on it and ain't got no fucking proof. We look real bad, man. I don't even want to read this shit. But anyway, it needs to be addressed again. Goddamn scams. Okay, I got 44 minutes. Let's go. All right, let's do from the most recent from APR News. And these are primary sources. Let's get it. Biggest headline. No immigrants do not receive $2,200 each month from the federal government. It's a goddamn lie. Migrants who cross the Rio Grande and enter the U.S. from Mexico are moved for processing by U.S. Customs and Border Protection Saturday, September 23rd, 2023 in Eagle Pass, Texas. People who enter the U.S. illegally do not receive $2,200 each month from the federal government, and some online have claimed. The Biden administration is giving people, this is the claim that they're saying online, and they're even saying more than this. The Biden administration is claiming people who enter the U.S. illegally payments of $2,200 per month. AP's assessment is false. People who enter the U.S. illegally are not eligible for federal cash assistance, with the exception of certain Cubans and Haitians. Immigration experts told the Associated Press, and I got that information as well. Refugees and people granted asylum, as well as some other humanitarian migrants, are entitled to certain public benefits, including cash assistance related to their initial resettlement, though it is not as high as $2,200 a month. The facts. The social media users are falsely claiming that people in the U.S. illegally receive thousands of dollars in monthly payments from the federal government, an issue that has been misrepresented before online. One tweet states, according to a release by the legal immigration group ALIPAC, the Biden administration is giving some illegal aliens payments of $2,200 per month. The information cited in the tweet was published by the Americans for Legal Immigration PAC. It relies on the August 21st Tucker Carlson interview with retired Army General Colonel Douglas McGregor. About halfway through the segment discussing the Russia-Ukraine war, McGregor said that every alleged asylum seeker, illegal migrant pouring in through the border in Texas or wherever else is given a monthly payment of $2,200. But those who are in the U.S. illegally are not eligible for such payments. With rare exceptions, immigration experts said certain groups, such as refugees and people granted asylum, do receive cash assistance from the federal government, though at much lower levels than those being claimed online. Generally, unauthorized immigrants have very little access to federal funded public benefits. Julia Galat, Associate Director of the U.S. Immigration Policy Program at the Migration Policy Institute, told the AP in an email. They can mostly only access emergency in-kind things like shelter and food during a hurricane or other emergency health care. Asked for further evidence of the group's claim, ALIPAC President William Green acknowledged that by law, illegals are not supposed to receive payments from the federal government. However, he alleged illegal immigrants are being wrongfully and willfully misclassified as asylum seekers and refugees to justify our federal government gross violation of numerous existing immigration laws and daily commission of mass felonies. Gene added that the ALIPAC did not make the original claim about the $2,200, pointing to Carlson's interview with McGregor as his source. McGregor cited an article published by Houston radio station on its website to support the claim he made during the interview, which quotes Gene and the ALIPAC release. The article was published a week after his interview. Gillette pointed to the special nutrition program as an example of a federal benefit available to anyone regardless of immigration status. The program provides supplemental foods, healthcare referrals, and nutrition education, not cash, to low-income pregnant and postpartum women, as well as children up to 5 who are at nutritional risk. Certain Cubans and Haitians are the only people who can receive federal cash assistance while in the U.S. illegally. Those who qualify include nationals of these countries whose cases for removal from the U.S. are still being decided, or who have a pending application for asylum. Rebecca Wolf, Senior Advisor, Policy Advisor Counsel at the American Immigration Council, confirmed in an email to the AP that aside from qualified Cubans and Haitians, individuals who have entered the country illegally do not get any financial assistance and are not eligible for any. Refugees and people granted asylum, both groups that have legal status in the U.S., are also eligible for federal cash assistance. Those granted asylum includes individuals who face persecution and applied for protection while already in the U.S. Refugees also face persecution, but were granted entry when living outside the country. Some other humanitarian migrants, such as Iraqis or Afghans, who worked as a translator or interpreter for the U.S. Armed Forces, may be eligible as well. The assistance can be assessed a number of different ways. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm sharing this with you, because this should be down. Hang on, my dears. Okay, there you are. I just wanted to make sure that I was sharing with you guys. All right, here we go. Almost done. The Refugee Cash Assistance Program provides, and I already read this to you, people who do not have minor children with financial help to meet basic needs such as food, shelter, and transportation for up to 12 months. The amounts vary by location, but according to Gillette, seem to be under $1,000 for a couple, less than for a single person. In Washington State, for example, one person could receive $363 per month, while a married couple could receive $459 a month. Similarly, the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program provides financial support to families with minor children. These benefits include the length of time they are available, also vary by state and family size. But Gillette wrote that they don't reach $2,000 a month, even for a very large family in a more generous state. For instance, a household of 3 children in New York could receive $698 per month for up to 60 months. And that's capped, because that goes for everybody too. The U.S. Department of State also provides local resettlement agencies with one-time payment of $2,375 per refugee. $1,275 of that amount can be used for critical needs such as rent, food, and clothing, while the rest is embarked to fund access to services such as cultural orientation, locating housing, and legal help. So they're not getting this money directly. It's going to the agency that's going to provide the transitional services for them. Mark Miller, a State Department spokesperson, told the AP that the agency does not provide payments or assistance to undocumented migrants in the United States. Refugees, people granted asylum in certain other groups, may also be eligible for supplemental security income if, for example, they are age 65 or older, blind, or disabled. The maximum SSI payment is $914 for an individual and $1371 for a couple. Stanford Prescott, a spokesperson for the International Rescue Committee, told the AP that none of these programs provide a regular monthly payment of $220, and that they typically have strict limitations on eligibility and length. Now, almost done. Many of the people who have arrived in the U.S. in recent years may be considered refugees in the colloquial sense, but they are not legally refugees. He added, notably, asylum seekers who arrive at the border do not qualify for these refugee benefits until they have won their legal case and they are granted asylee status by an immigration judge. This is part of AP's effort to address widely shared misinformation, including work with outside companies and organizations to add factual context to the misleading content that is circulating online. So let me give you a copy of this. You can have this whole damn article. And you can have that. Also, read you this little part about the Haitians, our brothers and sisters. All right, last thing. Oh, I'm good. Just 1 hour. This is great. I'll try and blow it up a little bit. Are you a Cuban or Haitian? And this is directly from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Office of the Refugee Resettlement, and Office of the Administration for Children and Families. I'm going to give you this link also. All right, let's go. And I'm only reading the part about the Haitians. Cuban or Haitian, are you a Cuban or Haitian individual who has been granted entry into the United States? You may be eligible for cash assistance, medical assistance, employment preparation, job placement, English language training, and other services offered through the Office of Refugee Settlement, ORR. You may also be eligible for federal mainstream, non-ORR funded benefits, such as cash assistance through supplemental security income, or temporary assistance for needy families, TANF, health insurance through Medicaid, and food assistance through Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP. This document focuses on the benefits and services that are ORR funds. To find out what resettlement benefits and services are available, contact your state refugee coordinator. And it gives you information on where you sign up and qualify and all this good stuff. And this is for Haitians and Cubans, Indians. There you go. So now I'm taking that down. I went through everything quickly. Is there anything else? Oh, the last thing is this crap right here. From the Office Inspector General, United States Department of Housing and Urban Development Office of Inspector. Let's get it. Whoops. Let's get it, y'all. Things that you need to watch out for. And this is directly from them. Attention HUD, REO contractors, property inspectors, Section 8 administrators, and realtors. Watch out. Sovereign citizen scams. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, this is just a drafting of the document. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, that's what that is, advises the public on how to recognize sovereign citizen occupation of a vacant property and the use of false deeds to support Section 8 leasing. Avoid putting yourself in danger or accepting fraudulent documents. This bulletin explains how to protect yourself as well as HUD's interests. What is sovereign citizen ideology? Sovereign citizen groups are loose associations of anti-government extremists who do not recognize the federal government. They believe they are separate or sovereign from the United States and are exempt from federal, state, and local laws and tax systems. They believe the county sheriff is the supreme law enforcement officer in the land, and county clerks or registers are the only legitimate elected officials. They subscribe to a belief in common law and their right to arrest or sue employees of illegitimate government. They are known for filing nuisance lawsuits or liens against individuals who try to stop their schemes, which have involved in lender, credit card, tax, and loan frauds. They make their own driver's licenses and license plates, and sometimes attempt to form their own parallel institutions of government. Sovereign citizen encounters with law enforcement and government personnel frequently become confrontational and sometimes turn out violent. The most extreme example of sovereign citizen violence was exhibited by Terry Nichols, co-conspirator in Alfred P. Murrah federal office building bombing in 1995. The 2014 standoff between the federal government and a cattle rancher in Nevada also involved sovereign citizens and even more radical militia groups. The Federal Bureau of Investigation and HUD OIG have noticed a resurgence of sovereign citizen fraud in HUD programs. What are the scams? Sovereign citizens have been investigated by HUD for not only illegally occupying HUD properties, but also improperly deeding HUD-owned properties to themselves. These groups take advantage of state laws in most states that require county clerks to accept and file any quit claim deed presented to them as long as the forms are properly signed and fees are paid. No proof of ownership is required. It becomes the burden of the true property owner to go to court and clear the title. This process takes time and is costly. While a HUD real estate owned property is being used by sovereign citizens, it is not uncommon for the sovereign citizens to change locks and install alarm systems. There are also instances in which a sovereign citizen has rented a HUD property to unsuspecting tenants. Over the last 4 years, HUD OIG has presented a number of investigations for prosecution, resulting in 20 convictions and criminal recoveries of more than $17 million. Recently, it has come to the attention of HUD that sovereign citizens have begun participating in the HUD subsidized Section 8 Housing Choice Voucher Program as landlords using properties that they do not own. They provide fraudulent deeds to housing authorities to establish ownership rights so that they can participate as a landlord. Sovereign citizens have also been active in foreclosure rescue schemes. Typically, they get defaulted homeowners to quit claim their deeds to them with promise of stopping the foreclosure. Then they collect monthly payments from the homeowners, promising to return the deeds in the future. Desperate homeowners believe the lies. Eventually, banks evict the homeowners, and they all have to contend with severely damaged credit histories. How am I affected? Your duties may bring you in contact with sovereign citizens who may lawfully occupy houses you inspect or may fraudulently represent themselves as potential landlords for the Section 8 program. Unlike other squatters, sovereign citizens may retaliate if you confront them. They often file frivolous liens against you for huge penalties. While in most instances, you can get these claims dismissed, it takes time and money to do so. The claims may affect your credit or delay financial transactions. Further, engaging in verbal argument with those individuals could spiral into a violent confrontation. How do I recognize sovereign citizens? They use elaborate names and symbols, which could include names spelled in all capital letters or interspersed with colons, hyphens, or other odd punctuation. Signatures followed by under duress, sovereign living soul, SLS, or copyright symbol. Personal seals, stamps, or thumbprints in red ink. References to the Bible, the Constitution of the United States, the U.S. Supreme Court decisions, treaties with foreign governments, or a uniform commercial code number, UCC-201. They prefix noble or the suffix bay or el bay with their name, brackets around zip codes, or other written oddities that can be found in the two reports referenced in this bulletin. And here is a quitclaim deed. A sample fraudulent quitclaim deed containing common sovereign changes to documents is shown below. Some identifying information has been redacted or placed with illustrative data, and this is fair use. Quitclaim deed, John Henry Doe. If you're reading this and you're getting these type of documents from these people, report them. I'm not going to go through all this, but what I am going to do, these are all different kind of shit that they do. I'm going to put this in the chat room for you to have because you need this. To care for yourself and pass it around. These dogs are out here. Women too, doing this shit. And they put their ass in jail. Record their ass with your cell phone and their Zooms. And if they can't turn their camera on when they're teaching you, leave that fucking meeting and tell them to give you your money back. Because you need to record their dusty asses. So, I quickly went through that without any interruptions. I know everyone has some information that they want to share. I'm going to take my lady break because y'all know I drink a lot of water. Honor to everyone out there, man. Smash that like button. I appreciate y'all so much. I'm going to take a ladies break. I thought I wanted to show you guys something else. Let me see. Where is it? I wanted to show you guys. Give me a minute, my loves. Because I think there is something that I want to show you. Where are you? All right. Where are you? La, 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 la. I think I do. Oh, God. Y'all take a bathroom break. Take a bathroom break. Take a bathroom break. Please. You're going to need one. You're definitely going to need one. Come on, you guys. I got to go to the bathroom. Smash the like button if you think this is a valuable a valuable segment. Let me know. I'm gonna take a ladies' break. Um, to the ladies' room. Play some music. I'll be right back, you guys. And I'm gonna open up the panel that I want to hear from. All right now. Hey there, come on up. Come on up. Don't be scared. I think it's imperative that we share this information so that so many people are not angry. Don't be angry. Uh, this is important information. Uh, so I'm here. I think somebody wanted to come up. The creator, you asked to drop the link. There's the link. Um, the link is in the chat for all. Doors open. I'll just sit here and wait. Smash the like button, please, y'all. Thank you so much. Well, I'll just sit here and wait. I got an hour.
Hey, so, Dama. Hey, it's too many lies, too many lies. Hey, it's too many lies, too many lies. Yo, it's too many. Hey, it's too many. Yo, it's too many. Yo, it's too many lies. Look in my eyes, they know I'm the truth. Knocking them down every time I step in the booth. We ain't got a lie, they know we the vibe, we living in proof. It's young conscious, shoot my life a movie, I live in a spoof. Ain't no sticking around, I'm on the move, I'm checking the dudes. Yeah, it's only us two, so you know we copping that coupe. We on the roof, smoking dope, look at the view. Yeah, we used to chill on the stoop, now we out here breaking the news. It ain't what you really could do, cause we ain't got nothing to lose. We ain't switch side with no cruise, we just stayed out of the loop. Now we out here letting it loose, every shot we took.
Hey there, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good. What's going on?
Nothing much. I was just, once I got back in from my day, I seen that you was going live, and I was looking at everything you covered once I got back in, and I was like, wow, people are really gullible nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Just to get some money, and
Yeah, it's a sad
just to be
thing.
all the way clear. Yeah, just to be all the way clear. I have no qualms with these people that's coming here and inquiring a better way of living. That's not it. But I do think that that those benefits that we're seeing now, I mean, it makes you wonder, why wasn't it not applied several decades ago? Because you can see the money was already there.
What do you mean it wasn't applied several decades ago?
I mean, just like any of these stipends or what they're doing for these people. I mean, I've had family members that was on Section 8 waiting lists for months. I mean, and still they had to move to another state to actually get in quicker. It seems like it's a faster process, if for lack of better terminology.
For the incoming immigrants?
Yeah.
Well, because number one, you don't want them sleeping on the street in tents. So, I mean, a lot of people that are on Section 8, they look at the most dangerous position are the people that's waiting on the Section 8 list, sheltered, temporarily sheltered somewhere, even if it's somewhere they don't want to be. That's one factor. And if
Hmm.
the answer is yes, they move to number two. That's how they rock.
Right. I
Is
understand.
that you, Smoke? Let me put my thing up because
Yes, ma'am.
somebody will come in here trying to act like they. Okay, I got you, Smoke. Go ahead, turn it off on. I see you. That's Smokey. Um, and once they find out if the person, they might be in an overcrowded home, but
Right.
the fact is, are they sheltered temporarily? Yes. So they move to plant to number two, and that's how they go down the line. They got a little thingy. I mean, I'm not in the office to, you
Yeah. So
know,
order of
get
operations. I understand.
yeah, there you go. But yeah, but the thing about it, these people are like with the Haitians, they help them get jobs, because a lot of jobs are in the Department of Labor, and unfortunately, a lot of our people that have criminal backgrounds aren't being considered for these jobs. And then they have a huge, like in Connecticut, they have a humongous list for people with felons only can get these jobs in our state. And I think it's in other states too.
Yes, we have one
Only
here.
convicted felons can get these jobs, nobody
Yep.
else. And they're finding a lot of convicted felons don't want those jobs, like jobs being managers at like Wendy's, be just being managers, in management positions, which could lead you to other places. You could become a GM later on where you travel, but a lot of our felons don't want it. Some of them will start it, especially the women. There's a lot of women that have started at that level and made themselves up to GMs in district, where they travel. So
Right.
it's successful for a lot of people. It's all about if this is the type of work you want to do.
And
But
it's
yeah,
it's astonishing. Like here. Here, what we do for the felons here, we have them come work at our water department, which here it maintains the cemeteries, cutting down grass and stuff like that, but that offers them a way into an actual factual position, you know.
Right.
And that's one thing that when I go to my town hall meetings, I'm always standing on trying to give people, second chance opportunities. Everybody is not bad like that. They're not. People make dumb decisions. I get that, but they're not genuinely bad at heart. So you should try to give them a second chance, especially if they've already did their time.
Facts. I think personally, if they did their time, it should be immediately expunged. But we need the right politicians in office to fight for that. And we also need to protect them. If they're threatened, oh, who threatened you? Because we need to protect our politicians. If the U.S. Army is not protecting them from being threatened by a 1% or somebody, then the people can protect them because we outnumber the armies.
Yes, we do.
But it is what it is. And
Hey, smoke signal.
it doesn't matter what color. Again, I don't care if it's a Chinese senator, a Mexican senator, a Puerto Rican senator, a Jamaican senator. If that senator wants to make things right for the real Americans and the Americans, people that are taxpayers, then we should stand behind them like we're an army against threat from a small population of rich you know what's. But go ahead. Y'all got it. Hey, Smoke. The link is in the chat for anyone that wish to I pin it to the top this time. Man, we ain't gotta keep putting it in there. Hey, Smoke.
Salute, salute. Shout out to the channel, to the panel, and to the chat. Power to the motherfucking people.
Right.
So this immigrant thing, which in my reality, I'm completely unaffected by it. Whether it be some type of increase in taxes, a decrease in wages, the increase of gas prices, the inflation of other useful products. I seem to be at the moment totally unaffected by the influx of immigrants. I'm saying the immigrant situation has been going on since at least 1492. Yeah, I think niggas then got a good concept of how to just seek their livelihoods and carry on. I don't know. So if it is an issue, I'd like to know exactly what it is.
I
What's the
give you a
issue? What's the issue with immigrants? Seeing as how immigrants now administrate all of our affairs.
facts.
That's one way of looking at it.
Facts.
But to highlight what you said, like what's the biggest issue? In actuality, to me, the biggest issue is that we are not doing the work that is available for us. We are not. Therefore, they have to import. They have to. Don't nobody
Yeah.
want to all of a sudden, don't nobody want to do landscaping. Nobody wants to be a plumber. Nobody wants to be an electrician. Everybody wants to try to do baseball, football, basketball, rap, sing, dance, with all of that. No one wants to do the real rigorous work of the land no more. So I really
Hey,
can't. Yes, ma'am.
peace to everybody. Um, I came to respectfully disagree because there's a lot of training programs that we can't get into, but these new people can get into where they really do want to do these jobs. They want to get hired, they won't get hired. These other people can get trained on the job where we need extensive work history. And so I disagree that they're here because they're doing stuff that we don't want to do. That's absolutely not true.
Okay. Can you give an example of something that someone was denied where an American was denied? Did they have a criminal background, which we already agree that that is something against our people?
My personal experience, I have been denied for jobs for not having a couple languages where people who could barely speak English can get that same job. And I
Okay.
would have background and everything. So what they'll do is they'll use you need to be bilingual in some sort of any language, whether it's useful or not, to deny the American person from applying for the job. And that's a way to gatekeep who goes there and who's not. So then they tell you, oh, we don't have enough qualified applications when we're in America.
But isness wouldn't that be state by state?
Well, what when we're talking about, we're all living in different places. I know Sister Bethy
Right.
brought up Connecticut, and I mean, I'm sure she's reaching to the broader United States. So here, where I live, that's what's going on. So it's to me, I'm just trying to clarify, at least where I live, there are people who are denied jobs who really want jobs. When they get on the jobs, they're harassed. They're asked to perform way above and beyond the so-called immigrant person
Right.
who, their mistakes can be looked over and everything like that. And so I do think that people really do want to work. It's just that they're prevented from working.
I know in our state we do have it where some jobs are you must have a bilingual language, like you Spanish, German, all different kinds. A specific place is looking, even in the state job, they're looking for someone who can speak, who is bilingual, because they need interpreters. And a lot of people call for services in the state, but we don't always have an interpreter that speak their language.
Mhm.
So that's in our state. So I can understand that. Like in my unit, um, I speak English, but the work that we do is for the entire public, and I don't know all languages. So when we hire a building official, we was looking for someone who could speak um, Spanish or fluent.
Multiple languages.
No, just Spanish was one of the requirements to be an inspector, because they have to go out and do inspections, and a lot of these inspections are on people's businesses and homes, and don't speak English.
They don't speak
So
English.
correct, and that's what it's for. It's not because you're brown or um or you don't qualify for the job. It's because they really need people that can cater to that community, because that's a barrier. It's a huge barrier
Mhm.
when
Well, can
yeah.
I disagree? Well, because I deal with I'm not just let's say monocultural, right? So
Uh-huh.
I talk to a lot of different people, and I know a lot of other people that aren't American that only speak English can get these jobs without needing to be bilingual. But somehow the bilingual requirement, is applied to a person that is an American person. And so that is an issue. And like I said, I know people who try to work these construction jobs, and once they get on the job, they're immediately laid off until that employer finds a maybe a Hispanic person, and then that Hispanic person is able to, or a Filipino or somebody, and that person is able to work. So I don't, and okay, and so let's get out of the trades, right? If I go into the tech world, there's been so many American employees who have complained that they can't get those jobs in those tech communities. But these particular companies will fly somebody in from, let's say, India or Asia somewhere, and
Mhm.
give them these jobs, and where the person that's sitting right here, right down the street, who went to school and everything, and they can't even get those jobs. So,
Yeah.
it's really not fair to all these, because the American people they have a high unemployment rate. I mean, we are
Yeah,
above and beyond everybody. So
correct.
if we're not pulling into those particular people and we're going halfway across the world to pull into those people, that's not really fair.
No,
I
it's
agree.
not. I agree. I agree. I agree. And I do see that in our country, there are a lot of people from India that specialize in um, programming and computer software engineering. A lot of
Hmm.
them take those trades a lot, and they work silently, and they're very a very quiet community in the department. They don't cause problems, and they're less likely to stir up trouble in the unit. Now, I don't know, about it's
If you meet a
and
lot of
it's
black engineers, they're really kind of meek kind of guys. I mean, they're kind of like nerdy guys. I
what
mean,
what
Yep.
we do
not to.
we do have them. Wait, we do have them. Our head of tech is Puerto Rican. He's head of the state's um technical purposes, and he speaks Spanish, but his primary speaking is English. So he's straight up Puerto Rican, and he's head over the technical unit in the state for software installation of PCs, cleaning out PCs, tech support. He's head over it. And we have people from China that work under him. We have people from India that work under him. He has a huge unit. So I guess it differs in many states. Looking at a state like California, it's a lot of people from Mexico, from that area that have settled there. So I see the need to hire them because they're a large population. So, but I don't, I really don't know. Are we always? I mean, for many years, our people have been discriminated against, isness, and that's across the states, and that's a fact. But my thing is this: we still are on a crutch. We don't want to go in office where we could change these laws that affect us. There are laws that are in effect that strictly strickens us, and that iron pen has been there since 1872,
Yep.
and it's called the criminal justice system. Unless we get senators like the Nation of Islam members to run for those positions, fearless men that are professional. You have wise, college educated Hebrew Israelites in every religious affiliation. We need to reach out to them, have meetings with them, and have them run so we can get them in office to change these horrible curse that's been on our people for so long. But we don't want to do it. We want to step out in our own government where we have absolutely nothing. And I mean nothing to start with. We don't have an army. We don't have the weapons that the US have. They can destroy a whole town with the weapons they have, a whole city. And we would be a threat, considered an enemy. Anyone that plans to succeed from the Union, they normally go to the war. That's what the whole thing with the South was. They got in the Union and they wanted out. And what happened when they wanted out? They started their own government again, and the troops marched down there because they were in violation of succeeding from the states. So, I mean, I don't know what you guys want to do, but if you're not opening businesses, this is what foreigners are doing when they come over here. A lot of immigrants and emigrants that come over here, even if it's from Ukraine, electricians, plumbers, all types of trades are trained over there from us. Here, we bring those skills to them and help them, and they come over here and pass our state licenses with flying colors because we're the ones who train them. So they
Right.
come
And
over here skills when they're forced out of their country. So it's easy for them to open up sole proprietorships.
Yep.
But we don't take up trades so we can be in the same position. We don't. And I just get so tired of excuses. I can't get my brother to take up a trade. My own blood brothers. I it's three of them that did, but they won't do it. So if I know the issues even in my own family, it's in a lot of people's families.
Yep.
But I relinquish, y'all got it. I just don't have excuses, no more excuses for our people, but y'all got it.
I know that they have like in high school, they have like where you could take a trade. It's called like EOP or UOP or something like that. And from the time that I was in high school all the way until my daughter was in high school, when we tried to get into those particular courses, we were never, we were denied all the time. We were never picked. But if you go into these communities where they're new Americans or migrants or immigrants, these classes are huge where these guys are being ushered into these trades, and this is all, and we're all paying taxes. You know, I'm paying taxes, my mother paid taxes, but I couldn't benefit from those particular courses, or neither could my daughter. So what I'm saying is that you know, I just think it's unfair to the American to say that if there's things that we don't want to do. We have a lot of barriers, and so instead of, you know, like Black Lives Matter only comes out, you know, every once a campaign, once an election, but maybe they should come out when it comes to like these high unemployment rates and address why is it that United States needs to feel that they need to go out across the world to find workers, when, you know, maybe they should be advocating for more tech programs here, or Apple should be working with a community college and try to, you know, fast track those kids into these programs. You know, maybe there should be more dialogue on what we can do to make the American worker desirable to these people who feel like they have to go to India to train them, because you know they're training them there.
There it
Oh,
is.
absolutely. I just said that.
There,
But are you going to your senators, representatives, and talking to them about this?
Well, I don't even know if you can, because there's a senator who's retiring now, and she's saying
You
that
don't write
she
them letter. You don't write
regrets
them.
that more.
I'm Sarah. You cut off. Isness. Hello.
I can hear you.
Can you hear
Okay,
Isness?
okay,
Oh,
There
okay.
she
there you
go.
go. There she goes. You completely cut off what you were
Mhm.
saying.
Oh, well, there's a senator here, and she's regretting why more people, she shouldn't, you know, she's retiring, and that she should have let more immigrants in. And it's just that it's just so skewed that, I mean, I don't think there's, you know, I don't know. Because Black people have been complaining, we've been complaining about housing discrimination here in California. The immigrant comes in, buys a lot of properties, only and lets their folks rent in those properties. Black people are homeless, and you know it's going off on deaf ears. Like nobody is paying any attention. And you know, I worked for Rapid Rehousing. It's a program that's all across the United States where they get homeless people off the streets and pay their rent. And if you notice, a lot of the new people that are crossing the borders aren't sleeping on the streets. They're not in tents like you see in Chicago. They're inside homes. They have apartments. So the funds from all these rapid rehousing programs are going to the immigrants. And so I don't know if anybody knows that, but we're paying for their housing until they get an income. And when they get an income, then they only pay 30% of whatever apartment they're living in.
But isn't California a sanctuary state?
It is a sanctuary state, but rapid rehousing is everywhere.
I
Right, that's the
understand,
COC. That's everywhere. Yeah.
right? But I'm looking at the hardest hit places is usually along the southern and any state within that
All
is
the
claiming to
borders.
be sanctuary.
Yeah. And
Correct?
we are a sanctuary state. And if
Yep.
you talk to the people who have been here who are not immigrants, nobody's in agreement with it. Now, are we supposed to be moved off our land because immigrants want to live here? Am I supposed to move because they decided California is a sanctuary state? Am I supposed to leave my home? You
No, you're
know,
supposed to go talk to them folks. Y'all need to show up at these town hall and general assemblies and
Well,
voice
are
your.
you saying that you could be at jeopardy for losing your home?
oh, no, 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 no. I'm saying that there is a lot of policies here that are very pro-immigrant and against the American, black and white, right? So what I'm saying is that um, and somebody may say, well, you're a sanctuary state, and if you don't like it, leave. But I'm not going to leave my home because Gavin Newsom wants to be president. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the people that are people that are homeless. You're saying that they're being overlooked for those type services, and they're just staying leaving them homeless.
No, let's say they get a rapid rehousing. Say a provider for rapid rehousing comes along and finds them sleeping outside in their car, right? Um, there's still things called housing discrimination. How are you going to get them into an apartment if the person looks at them and tells them no? Whereas there are property owners specifically accepting of, they go out there, they find these property owners for migrants, and they
Yeah.
say we have migrants, and everybody's so, oh my gosh, the migrants, the migrants, the migrants. So everybody has this big old soft heart for the migrants, so they have all these open spaces for the migrants, and then the American goes and tries to put in their application, and people are looking at them funny.
Are the
So
people are the people that um I'm trying to see the condition of our people. Are they former addicts? Are they recovering addicts? I mean, how
Mm-mm.
many times have they received services from such a program? What are the factors? I don't know. I see. I'm not I don't live in California, so I don't know their policies. And California is huge, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know California's policies.
and
Okay, so in California,
mhm.
they have a Fair Housing and Employment Act, right? And this applies for everyone with U.S. citizenship. So I think, in my opinion,
And that's
is
fairly
what.
new. So obviously, someone went down there and was writing letters because it was an issue. That's something I think was just passed in the last year or something. Because people weren't getting housing. You have all these people sleeping on the streets, and someone could come in from China and walk right in. And these people are so bad they won't even advertise in English. They'll advertise in Chinese or something like that, and don't let you try to be slick and try to figure out that it still says for rent and go in there. So that is the result because people were not being so let's see if it's enforced.
So is it fair to say that the Chinese person is looking out for his people
Yes.
like we as a people should be looking out for our people, something we
Right.
don't do. We don't do it. So I don't knock the Chinese man for trying to rent to his people. That's what we're supposed to do. We say that all the time.
That's called
We
housing discrimination. And you're not supposed to rent to someone for their race, their gender, their national origin. That's called
okay,
housing
seriously,
discrimination.
but who follows that law? Seriously, if we're saying we need to start looking out for our people, are we being discriminatory or are we taking care of our people?
I don't know, but I know that someone that comes here shouldn't be breaking the law and discriminating against Americans.
So there, okay. So that sounds kind of crazy to me because we're saying the same thing. We don't support each other. Like we have a lot of people that own two-family homes and three-family homes, right? And we're supposed to look out for our people. And that's exactly what that Chinese man is doing. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. He's looking out for his people. He wants to rent to someone he's accustomed and understands language wise and everything. And I don't, there's no barrier there. Here in Connecticut, we have Chinese people that own buildings, right? Where you could open a business. They rent out to anybody that comes to them that they feel, would be great. Like me, if I walk up to a Chinese guy and say, "Hey, look, I want to open up a hair store, braiding hair," and they're going to tell me what the price is, cool, and do it. And so that you don't need to, that much language of a barrier. The man's there to make money in in our community. So I don't know, I just have to like slightly disagree with you a little bit on this one.
Mhm.
American and isness only because um the exact same thing this Asian man done, we're saying that we should do. We should help our people. So should they not help their people? It don't matter if they came here. That's just my question, the way I see it.
But we're being told that we need to help everyone. That's why we're supposed to support the immigrant, right? Because everybody deserves a fair share. And so when we say, no, 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 I think we need to support our own people, then we got to get kind of chastised for being closed minded. Now, when a
No,
Chinese person says they need to take care of their own, then,
that's from a
that's fair
macro level.
practice.
Helping immigrants is from the macro level, and that already comes out of our tax dollars to be used to fund programs to help immigrants. So, personally, coming out our pocket, we're not being asked that. Now, this is a man who owns land or housing in a particular area of California, and he's opening to rent. He put out signs in his language that's helping your people in your community. So if we do it at the micro level where I own a house, I'm going to put a sign out and who I feel that I want to rent to and it's our
Trust.
people, you know, it's
That's
and if
trust.
it's my first choice is to help my people. If I have a sister who, if there's a sister out there who has Section 8, she's a good person, she's a good mom, and she has a great guy that she deals with, I'm going to rent to them.
Hmm.
I'm going to rent to them. I damn sure am. So we're talking macro and micro. Micro is you said we got to help all the immigrant. Yeah, that by us helping them is because the tax dollars, federal dollars, are taken out of our money to support and fund those programs. So an immigrant or immigrant or migrant are people of the land just from another area. I don't mind in that sense if our tax dollars are being used to help that. I don't have a problem with that because they're not taking extra federal dollars out my money. Like I said, when I get old, guess what? I'm going to benefit from that same money that's coming out of my federal taxes. The example, the $72. I'm not going to miss that, but I'm going to love it when the checks start coming to me for my Social Security. Now, want to get me heated up and turn me into a terrorist? Tell me I'm not getting Social Security when I retire. Whole different story from Sister Betty show.
Well, they're projecting that the American in a few years will not get Social Security, but right now they're giving Social Security. You could cross the border right now. They got immigrant Social Security, right? So what I'm saying is they've never paid into any system. They never paid that $72, but we're paying out to make sure that that blind person or that elderly person gets Social Security. Meanwhile, they're telling us that by the time I retire, I'm not going to get Social Security. So I just think that I don't know. And I also put in the back chat a program list where California is paying
Well,
um
Chantel, Why don't you? I saw that. Um, why don't you come on the panel? Because um, again, narrow mindedness. You said you were speaking about all races and immigrants, but now you're saying they don't have to help us black people. Really? That's not what I said. That is not what I said. I said we're speaking from a micro and macro level. Micro level is when I own a house or a couple of houses in my hood and I see a sister who might have Section 8 and she got a couple of kids. I'm going to rent to her because she's from my community. But at the micro level, the government takes money out of our paychecks. That's what our federal tax dollars go towards to fund those programs. So I have a problem. I don't have a problem with that. So that's not me walking up to the immigrant and handing them the money to get in their apartment. Those funds are being given to a nonprofit to oversee the settlement of immigrants. And I don't miss that money. But when it's my time to collect my federal dollars, which is my social security, I want it. That's what I'm saying. So I think we should just listen a little bit more and not use selective hearing. But y'all got it.
Hey, Isness, my biggest
Hmm.
thing, like where you are, is that your regulations, you know, your regulatory body. I mean, it's off the chain. It is really off the chain. Y'all got I don't even see how it's able to go the way that it's going like that. I mean, isn't that state like the highest in debt?
Well, I don't know. Well, now it's in debt, I think, because everybody's been flooding here because it's open borders, right? So everybody comes moving here because I'm sure you don't want to go live, or they tell you California's cool, right? It's nice weather and stuff. So everybody, once they cross, no matter where they are, they're coming to California. Just like, for instance, they said our highest immigrant person is from the Dominican Republic. Okay, so we're thinking
Really?
Mexicans. Yeah, right. So
Are you
people are
serious?
coming. Yes, that is
Wow.
our highest. Our new immigrant is the Dominican. So so people are traveling here because obviously there's resources, and these resources are not only being picked up by the state, they're being picked up by the federal government. There's these grants, all these corporations, like say the Bill and Melinda Gates foundations, the Chan Zuckerberg Foundation. They're giving billions of dollars to these nonprofit organizations to help settle. And so what I showed Sister Bessie, I put in the back chat, is California is giving counties where I guess they are sending the immigrants to specifically monies to settle these people in. And if you go down to the part where it says Oakland, which is a historical black, or quote unquote black city, everybody knows about Oakland. They're giving those people money for bid to open up businesses right in the middle of Oakland.
Mm. Have you ever looked into Open Society Foundation?
I think isn't that or don't they run like the New American thing too? Is that George Soros?
That's George Soros.
If
Go
you want to
dive into.
explain it, if you want to explain this, it's up.
Well, I'm on my phone, so I really can't see it. But if you go down to the little graph, because it's telling you right now that they want to help make the immigrant comfortable, right? They want to acclimate them into society. And this is a .gov, the California.gov site.
Ooh, wee. There it is.
Okay.
There it
And
is.
so go down to Oakland because it's telling you all the stuff they're going to do. Now, wraparound services means everything. So what they're doing is they're setting up offices to make sure these people are all set. There's no office that I can go to that will help me right now, if I fell off my feet, just like these people, they're saying they're fleeing a bad neighborhood. If I lived in a bad neighborhood, ain't no office I can go to that will wrap me around and set me up. And if you look at Oakland, they're setting you up for businesses,
Not
and
just
that's
business.
yeah.
I mean, they really they're gonna give you everything. Support immigrant startup business and foster an inclusive business community. They're setting up an actual community for these people in Oakland.
hmm
Wow.
And have you talked to
Wow.
any of your senators and representatives
Where?
and say, hey, look, where's our programs to help us
I swear.
in your state? Have you?
I have not.
Have you emailed? Um, how come you haven't? I mean,
Contact.
have you contacted the governor's office and asked them about business for people in your community? Is anybody talking to the governor?
Oh,
Well,
that's
see,
gas. That's gas.
I don't live in an urban community. I live in a suburb, so it wouldn't be specifically for Americans if where I live, but it would just be a program which they don't have. These programs are specifically targeted for immigrants, so you don't have to live like I don't have to live in the projects for or they don't have to live in the projects for them
I
to
mean,
get
like,
part of these programs.
I guess what I'm saying is, have you printed this out, right? And sent a letter to your governor certified saying, excuse me, can you provide these services in our community in the hoods, in the
Hmm.
inner cities of California? And that document has to get recorded along with your letter. It becomes public information.
Yes, it does.
I mean, and have you printed this out and sent it to all the senators of California and say, hey, can we get this duplicate this program for the urban communities, inner cities? Have you done that?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's the first thing I would recommend because it'll show that you don't have these programs on the books for your community. It would say, what county are you in? What county are you in right now?
Sacramento.
Do they have anything on here for Sacramento?
Yeah, it's on there.
Okay,
Very good.
so intergovernment technical assistance and social services, um, community-based organizations for immigrant groups. Okay, so I would print this out. It's only four pages. This is what I would do.
Mm.
Literally, I would print that out, write a letter, send a copy to all your politicians, governor, mayor, everybody in charge, commissioners, and say, can we get a duplicate program like this for our inner cities with our tax dollars? I would literally do that. Send them each. Oh, you can put all their names on one letter and send that same letter a copy with that and say, can we get a duplicate program like this for the inner cities? And then you share it with the people in the inner cities and tell them to march their asses right down to
Hmm.
their legislator and say, why don't we have this duplicate program for funds for us? We're paying tax dollars. You're using our money. You got to open your mouth.
Yeah.
Doing it on YouTube is not going to help because you're not going to send nothing in writing, and they don't like paper trails. They don't like paper trails
That's the
because
same
then
thing.
you got one up on them and say, "Oh, yeah, I know y'all not voting for this current administration. They took funds, our tax dollars, and gave them away to people who have not put in our system." That's how you fight civilly.
Um,
So if you're not going to
so
do that,
Sha
then you might as well nobody. If nobody's not going to do that, now see, I can't do it. I'm not a resident of California,
Right.
but if you're not going to do nothing and just let it go over your head and not send a letter, then you're a problem to this. You're not working on a solution.
That's the
You have
silent consent.
you have access to that in your hand, and that's something you can share with the urban community on what's being done that they're not aware of. But when you just sit it down to the side, they're not going to know unless you tell them, because they probably don't know. And 2 to 1, our people don't know in our inner cities. So it would take someone like yourself to share this with them. So if you're not sharing it with them, and you're just going to sit home angry about it, then you're not being a solution to the problem.
Like that's the same
I
thing
know
I
if
did
I
with
had some shit like that,
You know,
if
one of the
I
things
had some shit like that on some real shit, because that's just a little piece of paper, I'd be doing some devious shit. I would slip it under people's doors, all in the hood, and say, look at what they're doing with your tax dollars. They're not helping you. Your daughter and son needs jobs. Look at this. I sure would.
Well, the reason why I'm on YouTube and I bring it up a lot is because a lot of these things that are going on, people don't know about. And so, what I saw a lot of our people doing was crying about kids in cages for many years and acting like, there's only one group of people that deserves our help and our sympathy. And I wasn't seeing anybody really, go on that, we have our own problems here and we have kids that are in foster care system that could use help. We have mothers who are going through domestic violence. We have fathers who need jobs. We have housing and work discrimination. So we're giving all these other people all these, and these people are flying in and doing all kind of stuff. I mean, ask somebody from Midtown Sacramento if they could buy a ticket to fly to Ukraine. How are they even flying here? So what I'm saying is that we're giving all this sympathy to all these other people, like they have a right. This is not a place. America is not the land of immigrants. America is America for Americans. And there's a lie being told that this is a place for immigrants and for people who want to search a better life. That's not nowhere in the Constitution. I don't know
The
where this
United
is.
States, the United
Yes,
States, the United States is a nation of immigrants.
yeah, now and they're acting like that
Um,
means that our doors are supposed to be open.
the colonizers are immigrants
right.
and their
They
descendants.
are,
So if they're got the
but we
corporation,
live here and we're not immigrants, so it's not a
right,
nation
Right. But you under the
only for
corporation.
immigrants.
but you're under their system. You
Right.
are a citizen. You're a subject. So you are an immigrant according to them, even if you are Indian, because you came in their corporation as an immigrant. Not like what I'm saying right now, sister, and I hear you, but just what you just said, all that what you just said just now, if you was to go back and listen to this recording and be on your laptop and type exactly what you said, exactly word for word, and then stick it on the top of that 3-letter document, and then you got to do the easy part. Just stick it under their doors. Go to black businesses in the community, all in the hood, and just leave it there for them to read. That would be very helpful because they don't go online and find these documents. They don't go online and find these documents, but you do. You a bad mamma jamma with that information. And you're such a pillar for our community because you got that information. Now you got an argument. Now our people got an argument because you gave it to them. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's just gonna sit. Um, it's just gonna sit in your possession. You need to type exactly what. Go back and listen to this segment. Type exactly what you said on a plain piece of paper, and leave your phone number or contact information, and just make some copies of it and stick it in black-owned businesses. Stick it under people's doors or in their mailboxes in the hood, and say, "Look at what's being done with your tax dollars.
And
Please call me."
Sister Betty, if I
Okay,
could,
so
And don't forget
so-
to send it to the senators and say, "Hey, why aren't you speaking for programs for this?" Send it to them too, and the governor.
right. because that's the same thing I did with that EWG.org report that I found out about the water system here. Once I printed that out and gave it to everybody on my block and within let's just say a 3 mile radius of me, and I sent that, and I went to the town hall meeting, that these people didn't even know that the water was contaminated like that. They didn't know. Now they're trying to build a water treatment facility. It just takes you to just put it in their face, because a lot of these people just don't know.
Yeah, they don't know. They only know if people like me and Isness tell them. If that shit came out in my state, oh, that's going on every hood door you could think of. Every brown business you could think of in an urban community, every house. Oh, yes, sir. But I'm not a
Okay,
California resident. You got it, Smoke.
yeah, because
Khalib, are you real, Khalib, a real person?
Yes, Sister Betty, I'm real.
Okay, you can move.
okay, so earlier you said that the citizens are subjects. Where do we find this here? Because when I overview the articles in the amendments, I don't find it anywhere.
You mean
I find things like inalienable rights, the right to life, liberty,
yeah,
acquisition of property,
in the
and the
pursuit of
pursuit of
happiness.
safety and happiness. Right. I don't
Yep.
find anything about subjugation. So I'm saying, is this something that came after the laws, or is this something that's been
Well,
implemented?
citizens. I should have said citizens. I'm sorry. I apologize. I should have said citizens, not subjects. I'm thinking of the old terminologies. I apologize.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because it appears as if though we've been scared into behaving a certain way. Like we should just tuck our tails and do what the hell we told to do, despite the fact that that may be detrimental. I'm not saying that it is. I'm saying it's a possibility that it is.
Mm-hmm. And can you elaborate a little bit more, Smoke?
Well, I would say that if we are inclined to tuck our tails for a benefit, then by all means tuck your tail. But if it's not beneficial, then why the hell would anyone make this suggestion?
Oh, who made
Our
a suggestion?
ancestors was more like, give me liberty or give me death. Now we more like, oh, well, just keep the liberty, let me live. You see what I'm saying? It's a whole different mindset these days, but the laws reflect that former perspective. It seems like we are indeed suffering from a lack of information.
Yeah, we are. Facts. I don't think anybody in that area of California know about that document that American Isness put up. When I get something like that, see something like that, I'm going straight to them and say, and city council, and put it right on their damn desk. I'm putting up a fight.
Yeah, that's hard.
And if we have that, well, all I'm saying is if we have that information and don't take action, then we ain't no better than what we talking about.
And Sister Betty, can I say something to Smoke Signal real quick?
And I ain't into tucking my tail.
So when Sister Betty keeps saying subject versus citizen,
I meant to say citizen. I apologize.
Hold on. Just a subject means one who is under the power of another. But a citizen is a unit of mass of free people. So in order to be a subject, you have to be under the power of somebody else. That means you're not questioning shit.
Well, you're a subject if you're like in a manner of saying who has jurisdiction over you, your state. Like if you break a law in Connecticut, the Connecticut, the subject matter, you are subject to Connecticut's law. If I break a law in California and the law is breaking on the land of California, I am subject to their law.
That's right.
They could take me to jail and I'm subject to whatever law or punishment they want to give me for breaking a law in their state. That's why so many criminals are transferred to a state. If they commit a murder, they transfer them to that state so that they could be, because they're subject to the state's punishment. So I'm using the subject in that manner. Like Connecticut can't um punish somebody who killed somebody in California. The matter would be transferred to California where the crime was committed.
Right.
So that's what I
Okay,
mean,
well,
subject.
it is also nationally understood that all crimes must have a victim.
Yep.
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 And a state cannot be a victim.
Why not?
No, the
Can
victim
you
is
identify?
the people.
Can you
It's
identify? Can you
it's the
identify a
Indian.
state?
Yeah, the Indian.
Yeah. Can you identify a state? Can you know what I'm saying? You can't identify a state, so you can't be a victim. You can't say, I seen the state running up a hill or driving a car or walking down the street." A state cannot be identified. It is a abstract mental construct. That's why it
So
can't be a victim. It can't. A state can't even speak for itself. You
wait,
can't say
I
yes.
I'm
You
kind of
did that to
confused.
me.
Hey,
Hold on,
hey,
man.
Smoke. Can you take that back to the beginning? I got a little confused, hon. I'm sorry. Cosmos threw me off. Cosmo, this picture is a picture of the Indians in Oklahoma that own homes, lands, nice middle class Indians. That's what that is. But you got it. Smoke, can you start it again, hon? I got a little confused. I'm sorry.
Okay, the main reason why I say a state can't be a victim because a state cannot testify in court.
Huh?
A
Right,
state cannot
right,
testify in court, so it can't be a victim. You can't stand before a state and be accused because it's an
right,
abstract ideal.
right. So the representative for the state would be the
Thank you.
judges, the
Right.
prosecuting
Prosecutor.
attorneys
Yeah.
representing that state.
The
Right.
state
And
come to get you with the
everything
state
and
police.
everything and everything those individuals present in the court can only be classified as hearsay because they was
Right,
not there.
correct. Oh, well, you're saying if like somebody is committed a crime in a state and they have to go to a state court to be heard and tried, the representative for the state is the attorney. Everyone is,
Attorney
that's why
General.
everyone is innocent until proven guilty. And the way that's done is by the courtroom procedures of the court.
Because we've had plenty of cases, such and such versus the state of such and such. We've had plenty of cases like that. So
Right.
Well,
And
of
then you
course,
have,
that's because people don't understand that the state cannot be a victim. Anybody who pleads out to any case where the state is the victim or the accuser, then they're just uninformed of their rights.
well,
And,
I
any,
know.
and
Oh,
anybody
go
can
ahead.
volunteer. Anybody can volunteer to be a slave. There's no law against voluntary slavery. There's only a law against involuntary slavery.
Correct.
yeah.
Facts. Facts. That's a fact.
But the only thing that I want to say to that is you said that the state can't be a victim. If the state succeeds from the union, guess what? That state will become a victim.
No, it would not become a victim. There would be a decision that the state made independently of the union. So how can it then be a victim?
Because the
Well,
union will come for that state at
the
some point in
state,
time.
when you say state, it's the representatives. It
Right.
won't be the citizens, okay? But it will be like, say, like Texas succeeds from the union, right? And they start their own government, not following anything, no tax dollars are
Right.
being sent to the federal government. Then the state goes to war, or that's when the military steps in,
Yep.
and the those in power from the governor or down, all those involved, because only that the Congress and the governor of that state, all those in power will be tried, because it takes legislative actions to succeed from a government. So they'll all be tried
Yep.
all the way up to the governor.
Yep.
That's how that works.
Hmm.
They won't go after the individual people per se, but they will go after the
The state's
powers to be,
legislation, yeah,
starting from the
state
governor. All
legislation branch.
they do, yes, the executive branch, the all three branches of government will be tried. Those in power.
Yep.
Now, each state has their own militia, which the National Guards,
Correct.
oftentimes they don't go on the side of a government in these circumstances,
I gotta ask
because
you about
the
that.
only time they act, as a matter of fact, the only time that comes into play is if it's a war with the state and the federal government. But surely those National Guards would succeed. I mean, would put up a little white flag.
Sister Bethy, isn't the National Guard under the helm of the Speaker of the House?
The head of it. No, 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 no. Let me see. The speaker, I know that the speaker of the house, like if anything happens to the governor and lieutenant governor, if
Right.
anything happens to the governor, the lieutenant governor goes in the governor's spot, and the speaker of the house goes in the lieutenant governor's position.
Correct.
That's how that works.
Okay. Just making sure.
And then a new speaker is appointed.
Okay, so according to this article, there is no provision in the United States Constitution which prohibits a state from seceding from the Union. So the
Correct.
The Constitution has no provision that prevents the state from seceding,
Correct.
which indicates that a state has the right to secede. Now, maybe there
Correct.
are rules. Now, maybe there are rules that go with that, but basically, your state can secede.
Yes, they can.
Where are you reading from?
Google. It is from LubbockOnline.com. It's debatable. Do states have the right to secede from the Union? That's the title of it, where I found the excerpt at.
And so they are saying, and what I found here, um, it says some have argued for succession as a constitutional right, and others as from a natural right of revolution. In Texas versus White in 1869, the Supreme Court ruled unilateral succession unconstitutional, while commenting that revolution or consent of the states could lead to a successful succession. So, um, unilateral succession, they're saying, is unconstitutional.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Okay,
one
well,
from the
I'm not
Tribune
familiar with the
right now.
context unilateral, so this seems like something specific right there.
And I know it says Abelman found that the Constitution gave the Supreme Court final authority to determine the extent and limits of federal power, and that the states therefore do not have the power to nullify federal law. The Civil War put an end to most nullification attempts.
Yeah.
So that's why they had another reason why they had the Civil War to nullify that, because once they came in, they joined the Union and they wanted to get out because the North wanted control over every damn thing. And Texas was like, oh no, hell no. We want to keep things the way they are. And they went ahead and tried to many attempts to succeed. And that's when the war really went down, with the Confederate States um, attempting to succeed, because they saw where the northern colonial states wanted to take over all the whole entire land, including the federal, with the federal government backing them. It's horrible.
I know that
Horrible.
here in California, they're not trying to secede. What they're trying to do is break the state apart, because it seems like one part of the state is controlling this big old landmass. And so to get around this war and secession, what they're suggesting is to break the state apart. And I think it's from the east to the west or something like that. I don't know. But so I know that's what they've tried to do in California, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's crazy. Um, Nija Cable Smith, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. I just wanted to ask, like, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Because I don't want to vote, and I definitely don't want to ask for what's already ours. So I'm confused on what I should do and what role I should play. Because whenever everybody's ready, I'm ready. Whenever y'all ready to take it all back, I'm ready. But I don't know if that's the I don't know if that's what everybody's thinking.
Cosmos Cal, can you turn your camera on and make sure, so I can make sure it's you? Well, Khalid, in this community right here on my page. Okay, thank you. I see you. You can turn it off. Um, in my community, I'm not looking to be a rebel warrior to take things back. There are other communities that support that, but not this community. I believe in civil justice. I don't believe in war. I don't want my family and my grandsons harmed. I think civil behaviors and civil fights should be taken in a manner of contacting our people, our removing current people that don't have our interests out. And that's across the board. We're not the only ones that are strained by this government. We need all new people that are not afraid. And this is why I said, even if it's white senators that, you know, all kind that are looking to make this better for Americans, period. Um, I'm willing to go to the extent, if these politicians, a lot of them are threatened, and I'm willing to draw up individual declaration of protections for all politicians and individually send it to them. Look, if you're threatened, let all the American people know we're a big gang and we will find that individual and deal with them appropriately. So when they go in office, they can sign a declaration of protection and hand it to us.
Peacefully and
so
lawfully.
that they can pass laws. And if the 1% threatens their life, well, you got everybody in the United States willing to go find that person and say, you got a problem? We, the people, can give them individual declarations of protection so that they don't have to fear the big shots that they can't see. But anyway, Khalib, I don't promote warrior like behavior. I truly don't. I don't like it, and it's not a part of my plan at all. I believe in our men getting back in office to make changes of all these cursed laws that they got on everybody, especially the criminal justice system on our men and women, keeping them victims for life. It's bad. I don't like it.
Facts, facts. Peace, peace, Sister Bethy.
Hello,
Hi, how you doing today, sis?
I'm good. What's going on?
Ain't nothing to it. I just wanted to add a little bit onto that whole legal fiction that they talking about with the state and how they're able to do it. When you got into jurisdiction, you was exactly on point. So anybody who wants to look this up, right? This is U.S. Code 250-6. 250-6. It tells you in the definition for person, right? Any individual person as well as natural and legal entity, which it also includes a state. So this is how when they go into the court, right, and they say the state of Michigan versus Cosmon Cal or the state of Delaware versus Sister Bethy, because they're seen in law as a lawful legal person. And I just wanted to just drop that into the game too, man, just to add on to what y'all was building on.
Sister Bethy, I wanted to, if nobody else wanted to respond to what the brother just said, I wanted to ask you another question. Okay, so should we? So what would you say to the younger people?
Okay, go ahead.
What would you say to the younger people? Like, what should we do? Because I'm in my 20s, early 20s.
Okay.
And I'm still trying to see what I want to do. Of course, I want to do something for our people. But so you're saying we should try to get into the political field, or should
I
we
think
just?
that you should. Okay, you're in your 20s. First of all, I think that you should take up a trade so that you can be an independent young man to take care of yourself. And of course, in the future, if you decide to have children, you should take up a trade and open a business. That's what you should be doing. And yes, I think you should become politically active. You might want to run for office and change some laws and get in office. What state are you in?
I'm in Texas.
Okay. I would definitely support you to be in Texas. I certainly would. And I'd be the first one to to give you this to sign. So I think you should stay on the civil side. I'm not going to recommend you to do anything that could harm you in your life. I'm going to tell you positive things. I think you should start it. If you don't want to go to college, you should take up a trade and start your own business. This is why foreigners excel in our country because they come over here, they start off in little shit jobs, but they work their way up to opening their own business to exercise the trade skills they have, like lawn care. They opening up those businesses and they're working in the best of the best companies' lawns because they've mastered how to make lawns look beautiful. This is what foreigners do, and they start their sole proprietorships. So they're in the position they're in because they take advantage of the benefit of opening their own businesses. We don't have that because we don't do it. We don't go and take up trades. We don't open up businesses. Y'all keep thinking all these foreigners are getting these loans. They do not. They stick together and they get shit jobs and they put their money together and they open up their own businesses. Some grants they're allotted, but all Americans are they come with a plan. There are grants that you have to pay back, and then there's the ones you don't have to pay back, and they take advantage of them. We don't do that. We don't. We do not do that. We can't possibly doing that. There's so many of us on it, YouTube 24 hours. There's no way they're out opening the business. So I'm going to recommend to you, because you're so young, not to get involved in these warlike mind people who ain't doing shit. And get you a career, young man. Get a career. Find out what you like doing. Get involved. Go to your town council meeting and just sit there and learn. Listen to what's going on. Read some of the literature that they're sharing. Get a copy of their budget and read it so you can understand how much money's coming into town and how much is going out and whose salaries they're paying. That's how you learn. If you stay away from negative people and get into a positive environment, you can't go wrong. But I relinquish unless somebody else have some information to give them. Is that you, Darvis?
I would also add she's on point. I wouldn't debate
Okay,
any of
I
that,
got you.
but I wouldn't debate any of what she said. I think she's actually on point. But also, a very good point is to just find out who you are. Do your genealogy. Go talk to your people. Go talk to your grandma, your great grandma, your mama, all your aunties and uncles. Get all them stories and do your genealogy while you're doing all that. You know what I mean? You dig what I'm saying? You'll find out a lot of times that your family kept its own history. You know what I mean? You don't have to get it from anybody. They'll most likely have it. You know what I mean? Ask Big Mama about that Bible that she got with everybody name written in it, and you did what I'm talking about. And just start from there. You know what I mean? And then get into what you like the sister said. You did what I'm talking about. Get you a skill, and also create your own business. Do your own thing. That's the beauty of being Aboriginal, man. We coming back into our own history, and what we're finding out is all of it's ours. All of it. So
okay,
whatever float.
Okay, so the only objection I would have with what Sister Betty said concerning the immigrants is that if one were to pattern themselves after the immigrants, the first thing you would have to do is flee your homeland. Now, what are the odds? What are the odds that niggas pack up their bags, go to another land far away with nothing, right? And then that turn into a success story. What are the odds? Can anybody give me a rough estimation?
Little to none.
That would be that would be stupid.
So what I'm insinuating here is that these immigrants come over here with incentives, right? We may not be privy to the incentives that they are getting, but my only logical conclusion is to assume that they are being given incentives.
I kind of showed that they're getting incentives.
Yeah,
right.
They're getting incentives.
It's unlikely that someone would show up on your shores with nothing and become more successful than you.
I agree. They are definitely getting incentives, but you don't know you have incentives unless you looked. We can't knock something unless we look. A lot of us don't look for the incentives, or you don't ask if we have incentives. Like I can only refer people in my state. Now, what I could do is look on your state site. I know the actual agencies to look for where they give these incentives
The best.
because it's pretty much the same. It's just nobody's telling you. They're teaching the foreigner. You see, when they come over here, they're automatically their money goes to a nonprofit organization that guides them through the process. It doesn't go to them directly. So
Facts.
somebody like me can,
Well,
show you on your state site where you could go to take advantage of those same incentives as a mainland person. That's what I'm
but
hearing.
we do have people that's on the other opposite side of the influx, like Michael Yan. He's done outrageous reporting on the Darien Gap coming through, and that the incentives that Straight Smoke is Smoke Signal is talking about, those people were paid to leave their homes.
Yeah, there were a lot of Ukrainians too.
Okay,
So
can I say one thing? Can I just say to the guy on the panel, when you're starting out, you just have to be, just aware. And what did my parents tell me, right? You know that they're here, and you know that you have to compete, right? So you can't just be regular, right? So you're going to have, that they're here, that they have all these programs and all these incentives. So no one is going to, there's no office like I showed earlier. They got offices. They could just walk up to somebody's door and all the information is right there presented to them. Whereas we'll have to dig. So you just know that you're not just competing against the European, you're competing against the world at this particular point. So it's
Sister
just name the
Bethy.
game.
Okay, but I would also like to add to what she's saying is someone like yourself probably have not visited a state site in your state to see where you need to look. A lot of us just look at what's being exposed and given to the immigrant, but neglect to look on their own state sites to see what's lies for the people that have already been here and always been here. But I'm gonna relinquish and give the mic to somebody else.
Sister Bethy, is it true that these benefits that we would be searching for would be based in what we would call civil rights?
Yes, but
Mm.
have your civil rights been denied? Because if so, if you went on the state and you went for program and you were rejected, then you can fight for your civil rights in that manner.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So you have to take it that way.
So the schooling, the free health care, and everything that they fought for that they intentionally gave us, even food stamps in the early 70s. This is a thing that we are supposed to be already into and home loans, low equity loans, the same thing that basically the immigrants get. We supposed to be getting here is that the program that seems to be the program that is based in the Civil Rights Act that we got passed. Is that true that those are the acts and the incentives that the immigrants are tapping into that we aren't tapping into?
Peace to the panel. Peace.
That's what it's. Y'all got it.
My
No,
bad.
go ahead, Sister Bethy. Let
No,
Sister Bethy go, please.
no, go ahead, go, because I'm looking for something right now.
I would say, man, I do construction work, right? I'm in South Carolina. I got a concrete business. And on the construction sites, we know that a lot of these contractors, they got connections with like in Brazil, Honduras, and Mexico. And they bring these immigrants up here. And the immigrants come here and they work there. When they come over that border, however they get here, they automatically have a job set up. They have a car. They have an apartment. A lot of times they be packing apartments, but they already got these workforces already set up. And they use them, boy, because they can build $100,000 house for like $60,000. By dealing with us, a lot of times We price ourselves out the game, and we make room for these immigrants to come in. And like Lil Mom said earlier, we got to remember we in competition. But like Queen said earlier, I think we do need a lot more people dealing with government and law. We stopped doing that, and so we don't really know what's going on. We don't really have these inside connections. A lot of we may have so-called black leaders in Congress or on legislative ground or different councils or whatnot, but they're not really for us. We need more young men but still have dignity to get in there, get in these offices, get in these spots, and make some room for us. Our
Okay,
ancestors control the government
I
in their
I
times.
want to I want to quickly show you guys something when I move as an example, because a lot of us that come in here really truly can't honestly say that they visit their state websites. I don't know how your state websites are set up, but I just want to show you if someone was to come to me in my state in Connecticut, I would call them in the Zoom and teach them how to navigate. So let me just start right here. Um, I'm gonna start here, the health department. All right. Now you see this? Our state really listens to my voice. And that's the truth. Here you don't see African American communities of color. You see the terminology they're using now? Communities of color. I'm gonna click on that. Can you guys see the click?
I
Did it
Yes.
see it.
change?
Yes.
Did it change? It's showing a black lady.
Yeah.
Your mental health matters. Equal access to health. And they have pictures of people that look like us and the native people. Okay. Okay. It doesn't say Native Indian, it says Native American. Natives. They're fixing health care for refugees and immigrants, Latin America. It's all the different types of social people. Then I want to jump to something else. Hang on. Let me do something else. I would call them if they're in my state. I don't know everybody's state unless I study their state site. So here we go to our labor department. When I tell you that they're the things that are offered to the immigrant, they're also offered here. But nobody in my community is going to know this unless I bring them in Zoom and teach them. Okay. They tell you about phishing scheme, targets for job seekers, fraud watch. Okay. They have wage and workplace standards. All right. They have American job centers to help people find new jobs and skills. This is not just the immigrant, this is the Connecticut citizen. They have registered apprenticeships, let you earn while you learn. Okay. They have this. It does this page is not just for immigrants, it's for uh, us in this state, period. Um, file for benefits here, your social security benefits, get information on how to file a complaint. American job centers. All right. Um, let's see what it says. Find more about apprenticeships. You get to read it. This information is out here, but it's not communicated to our communities. This is the type of stuff that I like to get out to our communities. Look at this female. She's in a program. The Apprentice Funding Program was created to provide financial assistance to Connecticut small and medium-sized manufacturers to support registered apprenticeships and or apprenticeships to fill critical positions required for the stability, continuity, and growth of a company. All right. So what I'm saying is we're looking and judging, and you go here. This is our labor department. We're looking and judging. If you look and see what kind of programs they have, apprentices, wage, these are all the different programs. All right, now, and this is pretty much the same across the states. No one's teaching our people in our community about these opportunities in these apprenticeships. So this is why I always say, I want to tell you, it's our job to teach our people. It's not Joe Smo that's in the senator for the next district. It's our senators that are not communicating this to our people. So this, when I bring somebody in Zoom, I'm teaching them how to go on their own state site to take advantage of these programs. The programs is not just for immigrants. They're for us, and see where you fit in at. They have programs that will pay for you to take an apprenticeship. You get paid on it. All this is out there. We just got to look. And we have to have patient people in our community like myself to show you this. So, like I said, in January, when I start up again, because I took a mental break, I want to bring you in Zoom and show you how to navigate through your state systems so you don't always think that you're just asked out from opportunity. What I don't like is excuses. I don't work, those don't work well with me. And I'm
I
keeping it
agree with
real.
that.
But anybody else, like I said, my email, our website is here, www. My email is there. I'm sorry, our website. Get on our contact list so that when I do start back these Zoom meetings in January, if you're very serious and you want to see what you have not been exposed to, attend those my meetings. I'm not looking for you to give me no damn money and scam you out of shit. This is free. If you want to donate to our nation, that's up to your leisure. I'm not asking you for shit. But I don't want to be a person that knows all this information and not share it with you. Otherwise, you're going to keep making assumption that everything is for the immigrant and it's nothing for us when these opportunities are out here. And I want to get out of here because I'm getting a little tired. It's almost 3 hours and I'll be back again. But in January, I'm going to start back up my Zoom meetings like I used to. I just took a mental break because I burnt myself out.
Peace. I got a question for you, sister.
Hi, Eric. Hit the link, Eric. Go ahead, sweetheart.
All right. You still down here in South Carolina too, right?
No, our tribe isn't. We have land in South Carolina.
Yeah.
We're going there this year for our powwow again. We'll be there in August for our powwow. You're welcome. We'll let you know what exact date the tribe elects to go to do it. But I know it'll be in the middle of August. We're trying to get a day that's not going to be excruciating hot where we can't enjoy ourselves, but it will be in South Carolina.
True that. Next question.
You know
So you
what?
got my bad. You got like information on South Carolina like that also?
Well, that's why I want in January when I set the meetings up, come in Zoom because we do a state. We pick a state and we go through the state's website and see what opportunities are out there in your state for you. I love doing that kind of stuff. And I believe me, I don't want my people's money. All I say is we're a nonprofit, we're a tribe. Donate whatever you want if you feel like it. If you don't worry about it. I don't sweat that. What makes me feel good is I know I got this out to you. That's what makes me feel good.
True. Well, I sure need to catch up with y'all on that though. I see the link and whatnot, and I'm gonna go ahead, register however we gotta do it.
Yeah, get yourself on the contact list. And you get the email link to come into Zoom. And you can invite friends and share the link with anybody you want.
Yeah, 'cause I got like my brother has a business. Like there's a lot of businesses right here in the area, but we don't really have access to like I guess we got access to the government websites, but I don't know why I never really went and looked at it. I know a lot of people that do it, and they got different little programs set up for like small businesses or whatnot.
Yeah,
help you get you over that hump or whatnot, but I don't really know how to access it.
Okay.
And so I need to come build
I'm
with you on
gonna be
that.
doing that like the first or second. I don't have my calendar in front of me. First or second week in January, all the people on the distribution list will get the notification, and I do it several times a month. I do several times a month. So if you miss one, you could always go to the other. So
Let me ask you another question.
Hurry up, because I want to get out of here. I gotta
My bad. My
go
bad.
because my old man is waiting for me. He's like, 3 hours.
Well, don't worry about it, Queen. Go ahead, do your thing, Queen.
All right, Eric. I just wanted to say hi
Please.
to you. That's all.
Yeah, I just want to also say hi to you too. Since I came in late, I seen
Yeah.
what y'all were talking about immigration and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And, yeah, make me think about them African scammers that could. But
All right.
but it's something else.
Okay.
But I'll
Can I
definitely
say something?
see you on the next. When is you gonna have the next panel?
I'll be back tomorrow because now I'm going to let Bap do what he got to do. But I want to get out of here because my old man is standing over my shoulder. And this nigga.
Can I say
16.
something before you go?
Please let me go. You got to hurry up.
All right. Well, I just want to say if there's anybody who, a lot of people have corrected their status to be American Indians. And so California, if they are in California, they're giving land grants to American Indians here in California. So, I mean, I don't know if that information is useful to anybody, but that might not be public or commonly known.
Well, that's pretty awesome. So, I again, I say to everyone, honor. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all back again tomorrow. And I'll have a date, Darvis, of when I'm gonna have the first meeting in January. But it will be the first week. I know that.
All right. Peace out, sister.
Peace out, y'all.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you, Sister Bessie. Thank you.